All right, guys, here we go. Just a quick video on a few altcoins people have always been asking about, kind of the few of the fan favorites. So let's get started. First of all is XRP. Before I jump in, I want to bring this to your attention. The last big run that we had in altcoins was back in November, December, into January of 2024, going into 2025. And what I want you to do is just go back and pull up a chart, be a daily chart, weekly chart, whatever, and see the all-time high. Well, at that point, January, December, January is probably where it hit the most recent highs for your coin. Okay, as a rule, that's where the last peak was, and then look at it where it is today. Okay, and not bragging, not complaining, but XRP has done pretty good considering where it came from. The 1st of November through what is that, 1st of 2025. Okay, how it's held up pretty strong here. Okay, so once you do that, and that's one of the tricks we use over on our Patreon members group to pick out the strongest coins for potential runs, so on and so forth. There's a few other caveats, but that's one of them. In a relatively strong bear market that we've been in for a few months, how well has your coin held up, or how well has certain coins held up? The ones that are back down here or under where they started out, yeah, they're going to have a problem down the road. The reason why I say that, the insiders are completely sold out, liquidated. The community has given up, and it's kind of a lost cause. But there's always a chance. They can come back. And this is not financial advice. Any of these coins could go to 1,000, and any of them could go to zero. Okay, and we're probably going to find that out sooner or later. But right now, resistance for XRP is obviously the blue line, which is on this chart. And then the 200 is way up here. Now, the point is under the 200, so that's a little bit more bearish and bullish. And for the new people, what that means when people talk about the moving average, we're on a daily chart. So the 20, the blue line on this chart, is the average closing price for the last 20 days. So it's going to move faster. And of course, it's the 200 is the average closing price the last 200 days. Okay. So that's how we get that. And then the red dash line is current or near term resistance, because we came up and we V-shaped to the downside, okay? As easy as that said, okay? And then the next support zone is going to be this blue dash line here. And actually, uh, I teach our Patreon members this, but I'll give you a little freebie. You bring it over that pivot here, you bring it over to the far left side of the chart. You can see how many times it price hit and then bounced. Okay, price hit, bounce. Now here, that was, I think the tariff deal anyway. Everything was crashing. Then here we are, present day. Let me raise that up. Now, really, in all seriousness, we need to hold this low pivot, even though from the big land down uh, here, and we went up as we're pulling back in, we did make a higher low, higher low, and then what we want is a W formation coming out of here. Okay, how do markets reverse? Okay, our assets, anything, it could be the S&P 500 or XRP or Apple. Okay, it's either basically a V-shaped recovery or a W. And right now, we're definitely not getting a V-shaped recovery out of here. So the best we could hope for on XRP is for it to pull down. We don't want to take this level out, obviously. So we need to stop and reverse here pretty soon. Okay. And then that will be your W. And as soon as you take out the high pivot here, the red dash line, then we have a measured move that would take us up into the 200. But we teach all this for our Patreon members. But anyway, the next one people are interested in is ZBCN, okay? And this is pretty easy one here. Obviously, we are in an inside bar. In other words, all these candles, all these daily candles have so far have been closing inside this green bar. And this is the easiest one to work with, okay? But mentally, psychologically, these sideways consolidation zones absolutely destroy the mindset of untrained, retail investors because they're in, they're out. Oh, are we going to go lower? Are we going to go higher? It just, wears them out. But anyway, in a tight formation, is tighter the better. This is a little bit wide, but you do get a concentrated push either to the downside or to the upside. So you just sit on your hands and wait for the market because the market's always right. Okay, wait for the market to move either to the upside, downside. Then you make your decision. Right here, support, blue dash line. Don't want to lose that. You lose that again. You pull this over, come down. Where's the next support or resistance? All that was resistance until we broke out. Okay. So that would be the next, unless, it pulls down here. Let me show you where the 50 is. It's going to be a green line. It is, like I was talking about, it's the average closing price the last 50 days, okay? And we're under it, which is quite frankly a little bit more bearish than bullish. You really don't want to be under the 50, okay? We got over it and everything was looking good, but here we are, okay? Now, if if we do something like this, there's your W, okay? That's how you get the reversal. That's what we're looking for, okay? Right now, hardly any of these coins or, they're just making higher lows, okay? And then lower lows, okay? But how to reverse that, we're going to have to get some hellacious news to come in to V-shape it, or we're going to have to grind our way up and out of here, reversing that, making higher lows to the upside. Okay, all this is very easy, very simple. It's just not easy to do because people come to the market with preconceived ideas and notions and feelings and emotions, if I didn't already say that, and stuff they read on X or Reddit. They get and also the community of different coins. I mean, some of these coins is like a cult, and depending on where they, which one. I'm not going to mention any names. I think you all know. But okay, let's go to the next one. It's going to be XCN. Okay, it's a fan favorite. All right. Resistance right now is down trend line. I don't know if you saw it on X, but I was saying, I wasn't going to touch it, even if I did, unless it broke up and out and cleared this white trend line to the downside. And then at that time, resistance, we had it right here. So, or was it over here? Anyway, I do some of these charts. Anyway, yeah, I would want it above the red dash line, okay, in order for me to feel better about getting in here. Now, how could that happen? Okay, well, let's go here. We're holding this line so far, the blue dash line up, and then let's say we come back and the 20 and the 200 right here hold us, and then we could pop. See, we would get that W formation. We get that higher low, okay, low, and we pull back. We don't know. Well, we might get another red candle tomorrow, and I'll tell you why. Let's say we hold this and then get a green candle. Let's see, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday out of here. I'm just trying to play a chess game, with the market here is what I'm doing. On the bull side, on the bear side, we start. Well, let me explain this first. First of all, at this point in time, we have a topping tail here, topping tail there, and a red candle. Okay. Now, those put together, that's 60% probability that tomorrow we could get another red candle to the downside. Okay. Now, unless it's really bad news or something, I believe, not financial advice, any of these coins could go to $100 or $0. Everybody mature, everybody knows that. But anyway, this previous resistance here. See that 180 coming across with the 200 and the 20. This zone had better hold. Okay, I'm just well, that's a lot of factors. That's technically a lot of percentage, high percentage on the bull side that we could get down, up, down, up. Okay, so reversal off of here. If we don't, then yeah, we're coming down. We're going to be sucked down, retesting this bottom. Okay, but right now, you do have this high pivot here, previous resistance. Many times, not all the time, many times helps the support. Then you have a rising 200, that red line, and then relatively flat 20. Okay, so this whole zone, price zone here, we'll see how that, what ends up over the weekend. It'll happen over the weekend. Either we're going to get a dump or a pump here on XCN. But anyway, guys, I appreciate you watching. I'll leave a link um, in the comments below in the video to come check out our Patreon site. Love to see you over there and learn how to do this on your own. And that way, you don't have to listen to the noise, get emotionally involved, the ups and downs, the stress and everything. You can look at it and see where the next support's going to be, the next breakout, what a breakout looks like, so on and so forth. And with that, we will see you on the charts.